You guys know that feeling when when you're watching like a fireworks show and they do like the big finale and you're getting real into it, and then it ends and you expect like a little bit more? Like you think you're like that one beat away from the climax? Not gonna lie, that's kind of how the game one felt. So exciting, so engrossing, and just kind of fizzled at the end. But we're not in game one anymore, guys. We're in game two. It's all ready. We got some fighting picks. We got the clockwork for helmets. We got the Lina Faru. It's gonna be exciting to see how game two goes. Hopefully helmets can shake off that loss and get back in the zone. Now you're just playing the groups again. It's a best of two, baby. So we'll see how this one goes. Azu. They'll be the ones to take the Snapfire this time, being right out of the hands of helmets. We saw the work it can do last game. Let's see the work it can do this game. But I think that pretty clearly establishes... Oh, I say that. I was going to say it pretty clearly establishes Lina mid, but could be a 5 snap with a 4 Lina. So we'll have to wait and see. Rubik, though, confirming another core clockwork. Most likely. I've seen some 5 Rubiks, but I feel like he really does just need the farm. Both of these heroes want to be very active. Neither wants to spend that warding time. So, you know, we'll have to wait and see. But it's a good Rubik game. Any game with Lina in it's a good Rubik game. LSA is a fantastic steal. The main drawback to that spell is its long windup, but with Rubik you don't have to deal with that. Dragon Slave, also very good. High burst damage, really spammable. Rubik loves it. And obviously Laguna Blade, a big nuke that he likes. Snapfire too. All of Snapfire's abilities really good for Rubik, especially the stun. Rubik loves the secondary stun. The follow-up stun, and he has it with this lineup so far. So I'm excited to see the Rubik this game, that's for sure.
5 seconds. Ricky's turn to ban.
Ooh, ban out the Spectre. Helmets ban out the Night Stalker. Very similar to last game. Actually, I think the bans are identical to last game's right now. I don't think they're in the exact same order, but they are identical.
5 seconds.
Man, that was a hype game, though. Sometimes Viper ban. So far, we're still in identical bans, boys. There's some games of Dota where you can just tell they're gonna be hype as hell. That was one of them. And already this game's shaping up to be so similar. We're gonna have Snapfire plays. We're gonna have Rubik steals, crazy hooks, Lina with the LSAs and the Dragon Slaves, and the Laguna Blades. It's actually pretty satisfying to say her abilities next to each other. LSA, Dragon Slave, Laguna Blade. Anyways, you get a Wind ban. So now, no longer identical bans. Not surprising. Wind did so much work in the last game. Was pretty much their only carry. If we go ahead and take a look real quick at the damage from last game of the Wind, I don't know if people like this. 36,000, so very strong. I don't know if people like the tab out during the draft. Let me know what you think about it. I like to, you know, while we're waiting for these picks, zoom over to the stats real quick. You know, every now and then get some context added. And we see the Medusa ban again. Now, last game, OOOOOOO banned the Lone Druid. And I imagine that was a targeted ban against helmets. So I'm curious if we'll see them pick it up. Also, Sven left in the pool. I say it every time because I think it's that important. The hero's just too good right now. And if he's available, you should pick him. There's a reason why everyone on Reddit complains about him. Also, lads, we got the full jug of water, which I will drain by the end of this match. I drink a lot of water normally, and then when I talk a lot, it's even extra. You can hear them. It's a meaty shake of water. Mars, a very good offlaner. You, kind of a lot of lockdown on Dire right now. But Radiant has a similar amount. So honestly, again, these teams are gearing up to fight like maniacs. I like Mars a lot. I have to say. I feel like he's... it's not even that he's undervalued. It just seems like he offers a lot of value and people overlook it. But there's the Sven. That's what I'm talking about. That's the pick you gotta take. Whew! I'm scared. I'm scared for future me. I'm gonna be exhausted after this game. Look at all the hype fight that's gonna be coming into this match. So far, we have 6 heroes that all brawl beautifully. Now it's time for helmets to pick up probably their safe lane carry in response. We'll have to see if they pick something a bit more hard carry, a bit more farming oriented. It's going to be tough if they do, though. Fighting into a Sven when he hits his timing without your carry is a little rough. Taking their time. They're considering this pick very carefully, and rightfully so. Last game, the traps were so dead even. Unfortunately, the Void not really an option in this game. All of your heroes don't work well with the Chronosphere. So you're going to have to go for something else. Maybe we'll see something like a Juggernaut, a Life Stealer. Even Terrorblade feels pretty weak, I'm not going to lie. A lot of ways to clear out the illusions. A lot of CC. Wind also feels kind of rough this game because Sven's going to get the Purge and the Chase, and they'll elect an Ember. So very mobile hero. But if he gets caught, he will get burned down very quickly. Okay, I took the wrong moment to take a sip of water. We got a Pudge, ladies and gentlemen. We have a Pudge. Now, I'll be honest with you. For a long time, I've said, Pudge, worst hero in Dota. If you pick Pudge, you lose the game. Being honest with you, the last couple of games I've seen Pudges in, the Pudges seem to do work. So maybe, and you didn't hear this from me. Maybe Pudge is a viable pick. Sometimes. Situationally, maybe? I don't know. He feels bad on paper, but I've been seeing Pudges do some work, man. So maybe I'm wrong. Now that I've stated the secret statement. Alright, they've picked the Pudge. They've thrown the game. Dire wins. No. Juggernaut, gonna be the ban for OOOOOOO, the last ban. Both of those bans are pretty reasonable. The Sniper as well. It's just such an annoying hero. I'm interested to see where this Pudge will be playing. I think we're gonna find out now. But, you know what? I hate to say it again, but the only real clear position is the Sven. Obviously, okay, so generally, a general perspective is Sven 1, Pudge 3, with a Lina 4, a Snap 5, and an OD mid. So now that they've picked the OD, I'd give like 90% odds on that being the lane. But Pudge 3 though, I've only seen it as a 4, so I'm hesitant about Pudge 3. Actually, I've seen it as a mid 2. But it's not a mid this game, so we'll have to see. Maybe it's Snap 3. Could work. Gives the Aghanims more credence. Given that you're playing that sort of initiation role. We'll have to wait and see. I imagine it's a Pudge 3, though. That seems more traditional. But these teams have proven that they're not afraid to mess around with unconventional. Actually, especially OOOOOOO, who ran the Position 1 clock last game. Safe lane clock. It really was an off lane clock from the safe lane. Helmets on. 5 seconds. We'll know what they're going to pick up. Need their hard carry here. They elect the Huskar. Okay. We got a wild game 2 on our hands. Y'all thought game 1 was wild. We're looking at just as wild of a game 2. Look at the fight on these teams. They're not afraid to beat each other up, and I love it. And again, much like last game, I think this is going to come down to teamfight execution. I feel like both teams have insane spells that can win them fights. I think it's going to be execution. I think Rubik could carry this game. I think Pudge could carry this game. I think Huskar could go crazy. I think Sven could go crazy. I think Zucifer can dominate teamfights, but so can Changstein. You know, does Snapfire disrupt teamfights in a major way, but so does the Clock. So does the Mox. And that's without even factoring their items. Just by their heroes. I'm excited. I'm excited. You know, we had last game petered out a little bit, but I'm glad to see that both teams are willing to bring us back into the second act as we're rapidly approaching the start of game number 2. Games like these, series like these, teams like these, they're always such a joy to cast. Because it's just so exciting. I love watching Brawl Dota. Playing Brawl Dota, kinda less so. But watching and casting these games, it's a pleasure. Now we're gonna see. It's gonna be the safe lane Huskar. A little bit odd. I don't think it's a problem. I think we would typically see the Ember safe lane mid Huskar, as that is what we're seeing. But there's a role swap from the players. Okay, it is gonna be that 5 Rubik with a 4 Clock. I like Clock a lot more from the 4. I'm not sold on 3 Clock in general. I find that the position 4 Clockwork offers a lot of the same stuff that a position 3 Clockwork offers. But, you know, you don't have to put them in a farming position. Mid Huskar versus OD. I have to be honest with you guys, I'm the worst at matchups. Especially mid matchups. I used to play mid way back in the day. My matchups that I know are like old Invoker versus old Viper before the rework. You know, old Quap versus, well, not really old Quap, but, you know, Quap versus SF. Like, those are the matchups I'm super familiar with. Huskar OD? Not really. We got a master tier Rubik player, guys. That just makes me even more excited. Watching good Rubiks. I know I keep saying it, but that's really how I feel. It is going to be the 3 Pudge, which is an interesting choice. Not really the lane dominator that he used to be with that rework to Fleshy, not providing him 15 regen. Jesus. That's a lot of regen. Oh no, BDC, what are you doing? Don't block those. BDC, what are you doing? Oh, unfortunate. That's going to push out for the side of Dire with that block. Maybe they'll make the most out of it. Oh no, the range creep's going to be indirectly denied here as well. So let's think about this mid matchup. I have to imagine it's going to favor Blinky. I think just naturally his dot will be too powerful. But on the flip side, Zeusfer has a lot of ways of negating that damage, such as the Banish. We'll have to wait and see. So far, slight advantage going to the Huskar, but of course, the Huskar also has a wave advantage, so it's not the most indicative. Now it is a bit. This is up top. Can't imagine Changstein's going to have a hard time farming. Lina is, or at least was, traditionally the best 4 until she is replaced by Rubik, because of that insane attack range and good range creep secure, but Rubik's pretty good at that too. So both of the supports in this lane are very powerful. Oh, Rubik not going to zap that range creep. And I think Sven's going to do fine, and I think even if Sven doesn't do fine, he's going to do fine in the game. I think importantly, though, Mars is also going to do fine, and he could really tempo dictate this move. But right now, everything's very calm, which is good, because it's going to rapidly become less calm in the mid-game. We're just seeing the creeps get smacked. Pudge clearly having a rough time as compared to the Mars, but overall seems like things are going pretty good. Mars takes quite a bit of damage, and BDC has to be careful. Will get out of the cogs actually with a very good cookie. A solid counter that you may not consider. The salve going to come out for both sides here. But a little puzzle probably not going to result in too much here. Lane. This is just going to be the game. Blinky will occasionally toss a burning spear. Zeusfer will occasionally toss an orb. Stretchy arms just have to be a bit careful. Hang on, Stretchy Arms was playing the Magnus. Or Magnus. Right? It was a 4 quad. Oh, yeah, now she was... Alright, we do have a bit of an engage going on, but I don't think it's going to result in anything. There's a big lane swaps from Dire here. From Helmets. Their 5's playing their 3, their 3's playing their 4, their 4 is playing their 5, their 2's playing their 1. Obviously, Ember, kind of a mid-hero. Very common it's very common to see mid players play the safe lane Ember. So I'm not at all surprised about that, as Wind underestimates the power of Rubik's Zap. It'll be the first blood. Meanwhile, Snap will die down in the bottom lane. I was worried if Belina was going to fall, but will not. BDC, you have to be careful. That is a good stun, and actually, I think this is going to turn into a kill for Magoo. Indeed, it will. It's one of those unfortunate positioning plays. Wind. Wind's... You know what? I think unless it goes later, this this Pudge is going to struggle. Going to be 3 bounties for Dire here. Very difficult lane now for Wind. Unfortunately, with the Pudge, the issue is Pudge has a really strange dichotomy where you want. Ooh, a nice hook. The LSA is there. Actually, I think this is going to be a kill. No! The zap's there! They will get him eventually! Radio Foot! This is the second series I've cast with a hype Rubik! And in the Fairy Fire, Rubik lives! Blinky's here, the spears! There's no way you're getting out fire. I'm sorry, 6 stacks. You're just gonna pop. Blinky gets the kill he needs. DP's back. Oh. Oh, this. I love it. So we're getting into the bloodbath early here. Sven getting towards that power treads real quick. Stretchy Arms wants to go, but gonna find it difficult to deal with the Snapfire. Snapfire, very good clock counter. This BDC. Definitely a little bit behind this Mars, which is very atypical, but doing just fine. Could really also be a pacemaker in this game. I have lots of heroes that are very well positioned to become the force power in the game, and they see Stretchy Arms TPing, it will get cancelled. No TP for him. He must have been TPing to a tower that already had a TP or something. That looks very long, unless I caught it literally right as it started. It's one of those things where even if it was on screen, I didn't see it. And now Magoo. Stretchy Arms kind of brawling it out, but I don't think either of them are going to succeed in getting any real pressure onto the other. Top though, Pudge and Lena taking a hefty chunk of damage. Changstein now as the remnants, so much harder to get a kill on. This is either where the game's going to slow down or speed up. There's only one way to find out, as Clockwork tries to cogs out, but just really cogsed himself in with Magoo. He'll walk away now. BDC doesn't look like he wants to take the fight, or does he? Walking back in. You have to be careful for Ouch Kabibbles. The spear is online. The mana's... Oh, no, it wasn't. Thought it was. The spear will connect onto Sven. Sven has to be careful. Cookie up in 1 second. Will get popped to get him out, and he will be just fine. Actually, the Clockwork's under the tower. He takes 2 hits. There's no follow-up damage. Look at this Huskar. He's rotating in. Blinky wants to get kills. Wants to speed up this mid-game. Wants to break things early. Break the laning stage early.
There is little hope for
Blinky will get spotted, I do believe, by Magoo. He doesn't care. He's just here to push.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
It's a very bold strategy of him, and look at this. Dire also having a just fine time.
Is under attack.
Oh no, Blinky. Blinky, if you find BDC, TP's coming in. Blinky has to be exceptionally careful. Fires here, drops the LSA, it misses. Blinky gets a good stun in, or a good disarm in, and actually Sven does get the kill, but will fall immediately after. Overall, the XP does go through Blinky, so it may be worth for him, but Odie is able to push in mid and get a lot of damage, and because of that, I think it's going to be worth. Let's just go ahead and take a look. He gets 159, he gets 156, but the XP goes their way, so I think it's definitely going to be worth it for Radiant here. Now Pudge does have to be careful. Changstein doesn't have a point in the shackles. Searing Chains. I know this ability by so many names. Call it the bolas, call it the shackles, the chains. I forgot what the ability name is. It's in the mid lane. I think he's taking a lot of damage. Has to be a little bit careful. And as I look away, we see a kill onto the Pudge. Magoo likely to walk out. Man, that snap is so strong though. BDC, he's trying to juke, but I don't think you're going to be able to juke a very solid ultimate from the Mars, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Or is it? It will be. Good LSA came in from fire, but it's not going to be enough to save the Saven. Oh, with the pin, stretchy arms, run the creeps! The creeps! The last hit from fire is there. And Wind's here too. I don't know if it's the intentional name, Wind and Fire, baby. They're going. Ouch, Kabibbles with a solid juke, but the dismembers there from Pudge. That is going to be a dead Mars. Again, I think that ultimately is fine for Radiant. Sucks that your Sven died again, but you got what you needed out of it. Real quick, before anything happens, so far, we're at 1 for 2. But it looks like Radiant will probably get it, making that a 1 for 3. As we swap over to the net worth, look at that. Unsurprisingly, Huskar, a lot of gold. He's been involved in some good kills so far. Already looking at 2-1. And for the Mars. So, they're looking okay in the jelly. Oh, that's tasty. Jelly will obviously one's going to go to the Ember. You never don't give it to yourself if you're a core player. And then you let your other two fight over. It looks like they gave the other one to the Mars. A solid choice because he really does need that mana. Obviously, Huskar wouldn't mind the HP regen, but the mana's where it's at. As ouch, Kabibbles. Is he going to get the spear? He is. That's looking good. The LSA is available. Will come out. But I don't think it actually connected. As now Stretchy Arms has split off a bit. He will end up using the hook shot to get onto Wind. But Wind has the hood. So he's a very tanky target. And actually, Stretchy Arms has to be careful. He'll get out. Pudge turning, though, onto the Mars. And if BDC gets this kill, it could be very good for him. Wind will be the one to secure it. But now, BDC's popped his ultimate, and he'll be able to farm. And that's ultimately a 4 for 3. And another just fine trade for Radiant. Radiant somehow getting the better end of these trades every time, it feels like. But not this time, as now BDC's in a lot of trouble. The stun will come out onto Blinky, but Blinky's already putting the spears onto him. And the zap. 3 stacks are gonna fall. And Lina comes back on fire. Has to be careful not to die again, but ultimately, that time the trade goes the way of Dire. Clockwork almost dies. To just the Lina. Unless he was already weak, I think. He was farming up a camp while he was already weak. But look at this Wind and Fire working together. The hook comes out, doesn't quite connect. Unfortunate. Wishkabibbles has finished. Vladimir's offering. Ooh, a nice little pin. You'll love to see that. Obviously, it doesn't really secure you much, but love to see it. Sven, though, taking his place in the off lane. Almost has that Echo Saber completed. Once he gets his Aghanims, too, he'll be powerful. Don't know if he's going to go for his second item. I think we're likely to see a BKB first, but we'll just have to wait and see. Magoo going for the Arcanes. As meanwhile, in the mid lane, Lucifer has to be careful. Actually, only has 2 stacks. Drops the hammer, the hook as well! That's a dead Blinky, as Lucifer was actually perfectly caught, but has the invis, and is thus invincible. That's very good for Radiant, as a BDC. Farms away, lives his best life. Don't think he's at too much risk from this Ember. Going back to looking at some items real quick. Fire going for their Yules, I would imagine. They're going to be slow from that supporting position. Lucifer has a Force Staff. If he goes into a full Dragon Lance. On the side of Dire, an armlet's already available. Phase Boots, nothing too surprising. And a Battle Fury from Ember. So Ember Fury for that late game. This is a bit of an older build that we don't see too much anymore. And oh no, now he's in a lot of trouble, actually. As he gets hooked in. But now he's there. He's out of there with the backup of his Rubik, and nothing will happen. BDC pops another ultimate. Doesn't get anything out of it, but will get farmed, so, you know, with an Ancient Camp, you're never too sad to have popped that ultimate. He's letting the Lina tank it here. And that is going to be his Echo Saber completed. Building into its next item. I want to see what he queues up, if he queues up anytime soon. No. Maybe as he runs to the small camp. No. Okay, we go to another lane. Ouch, Kabibbles and Caboose. Ouch, Kabib. Oh, no. We missed Lina dying. I'm not even going to continue on that train of thought. Lina died. Probably to lift, and then the Rubik Quite with the LSA is going to be stolen as well. That means that Wind has to be careful not to go the way of Fire. Tosses a hook, and what a perfectly timed steal. Sorry, I missed the mid-brawl. Oh my god, what a bloodbath this game is. Alright, I gotta refocus. Sorry, that steal was so expertly timed. I don't even think the Pudge had time to get rid of it. But we have a big trade in the middle going in the favor of Dire. But BDC does get 0 kills due to Blinky stealing them post-mortem with his fire spheres. Okay, good to know. But he is still farming. That's for certain. And he's shipping something to himself. Oh, a Morbid Mask. Okay, so he might be going for the Mask of Madness build here. I have to imagine he is. The game slows down a little bit. So Mask of Madness build, for those who don't know, is such a good value item on Sven because both of the build up for it is really nice, right? You have we'll go ahead and pull it up. Freaking what's going on? Lina dies bottom. Up top we have a brawl. Chagstein though, he's in a lot of trouble. Doesn't have mana for another remnant, and the hammer will get dropped. God, they're playing too fast for me, guys. I'm sorry. I'm gonna pay a lot more attention real quick. Okay, look at the map. I don't think anything's happening. Alright, Mask of Madness. Alright, the build-up is a Morbid Mask, which builds into a Satanic, and a Quarterstaff, which builds into a Butterfly. Not the best item on the Sven in this game, but could also go into an Orchid. That's a pretty common late-game Sven item. Now we have a gank. I'm not going to miss this one when he gets stunned, but he does manage to get off the Armland in time. The hook comes out. It does connect with a stolen hook onto the Sven. He's going to drop probably as he kills under the tower. It looks like the Huskar has fallen. Sven also falling just now. The Mars ultimate is good, and now Changstein's here. Gets a great double exchange as Magoo gets a good ultimate, but it gets interrupted by the hookshot of Arms. And a buyback has come out from Sven. A hook comes out, doesn't connect onto anything. Stolen hook is still available on Rubik, and he pops the hook to get the Arcane Rune for himself. God love it. And that is going to set that back Sven quite significantly. This Rubik is just making plays. I mean, he's a master tier Rubik. What do you expect? I aspire to play like this Rubik. Zucifer pushing up top, lots of TPs coming in, has to be careful. Stretchy Arms doesn't have the hook shot, does get the denied though. Zucifer with a good blink gets the stun, but the hook comes out, just barely misses. Looks like he will escape. But an excellent deny. Meanwhile, the mid tower getting pressured as well. No one to deny this. Magoo is here. Doesn't want to go for it. Actually, I think that will mean Changstein's going to step up, clap his own tower down. Yep. Him and Ouch Kabibbles doing an excellent job. BDC back to farming. He's fallen quite far behind due to that buyback. So it's just a casual Morbid Mask for him right now. Not going to elect to pick up that Mask of Madness. Going instead into the BKB. Solid choice. Casual Mask of Madness is just fine as well. You don't actually, I don't believe, get an upgrade to the lifesteal. 20% versus 15%. So you do, so I lied. And I think it also does give, static attack speed and damage. So honestly, probably worth the upgrade in my opinion with all that combined. Is electing not to. It's kind of weird because it's one of those items that you can disassemble at any time, and a lot of them are disassemble restricted. But he'll just keep it casual. Going into that BKB. That's mid. We've got to settle. And this is going to turn into a full-on fight. Blinky gets the pushback, goes in fact, the stun isn't going to connect on him. Zeus for taking a lot of damage, but the nuke is out. Huskar will fall, followed by the clockwork, and this is a good fight. But somehow, in all the madness, he's done it again! Radio Foot! I don't know how you do it! Apologies for the WASD move. In not assisted camera. But wow! What an incredible player! And he got a blink dagger. He doesn't even need the Aether Lens. He's playing Pudge. The hook comes out onto the Ember. Ember in a lot of trouble. This Ember does come out. The Radio Foot's here. Doesn't lift. Actually gets pushed into the wall. No. And Changsing has survived right now. They do get some good trade-off kills. Trying to run away, but Rubik has the blink, has the lift, has the hook if he wants to toss it, and will not do so. But will secure the kill. Meanwhile, those Snapfires bump back. I think it's going to matter. So, overall, we see 3 kills in exchange for just the claw. That's what you want if you're on the side of Helmets. Helmets, this is exactly what you need, man. When you're down a game, and you got this Rubik, this Radio Foot player. I don't want to harp too much on him. But when you got a Rubik that's getting these steals and hitting these hooks, you just feel good. As, Ember gets out, and now Ouch commitments. He actually might be in a bit deep. He will get the tier 1 tower, but he gets stunned by the LSA. Zeusfer also here. Yeah, this is a dead man. The hook! Oh, it's not going to be enough. But if it was, oh my, what a hook it would have been.
Who can say what I will do with this
I'm it's so much fun to watch these teams, man. They play such fun Dota. Changstein farming up the ancient camp, so he is going for a physical damage build. This isn't a build-up that, at least as far as I'm aware, I've seen in a while. I haven't seen a whole lot of Ember. Typically, we see them go in either a Magic or like the Maelstrom build, you know. But this is an older build, and it's a build that I do like a lot. I'm a bit surprised it's fallen out of favor, because it can do a heck of a lot of damage. The one concern I have is EDC's farming. He's keeping up. He's got the BKB almost done. I would like to see after the BKB him convert this into a Mask of Madness, as said before, but I think he's just going to keep it cash and eventually upgrade it into a Satanic. We got Changstein farming away, protected by Radiofoot, who has this stolen. That can't be right. 74 seconds. I guess it is. A beautiful spear, but it's actually not going to matter as it gets cookied away. Now Changstein has to be careful. Will go out the hook. Won't connect, but Rubik's will. And actually Clockwork, he's taking a lot of damage because of the hook shot. He will take out that OD. Meanwhile, on the other side, Lena will fall. This is so far a disaster for Dire. A big spin coming out to secure him to the cogs of his Clockwork. And that's a 4-for-1 trade, and you're very happy with that. On the side of Dire. So look at that gold XP shift. A lot of money, and most of it's going into your Rubik. I don't need an Aether Lens, I need an Aghanims. I want more spells. In the fight, he stole Laguna. I didn't even notice. Radiofoot. Love it. Love it. Love watching Rubik players. Like I said, I'm an aspiring Rubik player, but I wish to be as good as these guys. Now Dire are doing a good job of sieging at tier 2. Gonna get ended by the Fortify from Radiant. Look at this Fendel. Then playing the game that he was destined to play. 24 minutes, probably gonna be online at around 28. As he's gonna get that Aghanim Scepter up, and then he will become a powerful member of these fights. And are there any BKBs? I don't know why I click on Rubik. Oh, there is a BKB on Huskar. 10 seconds. Mars going for a BKB of his own. Ember electing not to, going for a Lincoln Sphere instead. A risky option, but pretty good, I would say.
Money to burn.
Now, he's already adept at dodging Sven's stun. I've experienced this in a game, unless it's been changed. The way Sven's stun works is it goes to his, like, if he's in Sleight of Fist and he's hitting a bunch of people, when Sven tosses Stormhammer and goes with it, we're just gonna focus on this guy for now. If he's like bouncing around, like here, when Sven comes through where he is, like when he connects, that's the stun will land, even though he's not on the map. So Sven will come out of the stun and Ember won't get stunned. It's a bit weird to describe, I know, but that's how it works. As Dire take a tower and now Stretchy Arms looks to get into the Lina but won't get it. But they found a bigger target. The Stolen Laguna is so much damage. And look at this now. They take out the OD. Clock goes in onto the Lina. Lina also looking to fall here. I doubt she's going to get out after. Very mobile on Dire. And that's a free double kill. Look at this. Dire in a commanding position once again. Another Fortify from that tier 1. They pop a fort of their own. I think the card will fall. Yes, it will. But honestly, I do think Dire is going to take this tower win. Trying to make a play here. Has to be careful of the Rubik. The hook comes out, hits his own creep. So that's a bit unfortunate. Magoo going to try and force back the push, but look at this Chanxi playing so aggressively. Will get hit by the stun, but it's not going to matter as Wind doesn't have the hook online just yet. Look at this Dire. They're retreating very carefully and now starting to TP out. I think they'll get out without losing any players. Overall, Helmets are doing an excellent job in this game too. Give them a slight advantage at this stage, although you know what? I can't do that. I can't in good faith do that. We haven't seen the Sven yet. The factor in this game that we know he can be. And actually, this Aghanim's probably going to be about 30 minutes instead of the 28. Did I just see? Yeah, I think Rubik just Laguna'd probably because it's running out. I heard the effect. Obviously, that's just a fine play since, like I said, it is running out, but still. When you miss so many kills, you get worried as the smoke comes out from Radiant. Could be very good for them. BDC doesn't have the Aghanims just yet. It's probably going to have to let his team lead this one. Pop that move speed in the War Cry. Actually, Dire. They're positioned for a smoke of their own. They have to get up onto this high ground or else it could be a disaster. And now look at this. They'll find fire. They'll find Zucifer. They know what's happening. Mars puts down a good ultimate. It is going to catch Sven. Has the BKB, but isn't even going to elect to use it. They'll fall quickly. Lina has bought back. Don't know where the Ember went. I guess he went back to run. I thought he was chasing deeper. And now look at this Dire making the excellent rotation immediately into the Roche Pit. Sven is dead for 80 seconds. They know they're more powerful. They only used the arena there. And it's not the biggest deal. They do have a lot of fight with that. But Wind. Is he going to get a hook? Tosses it and misses. Stretchy Arms down. He's the one leading. Doesn't have a hook shot. And actually, he sees the ward. Will elect to deward that. But could maybe look for something with the flare. Hook up in 5 seconds. Looks like they'll just start rotating into this tower. And now this is a commanding position for the side of Helmets as they march down the mid lane. The hook does come out, but this member can't go through Lincoln's, unfortunately. And that's a tier 2 that will fall. Radio Foot doesn't have a stolen spell right now. Usually when I play Rubik, I'll just steal one if I don't have anything. But he's electing not to. I don't think it really matters, to be honest with you. Not going to see Wind, unfortunately, with that Zucifer playing pretty far up. He has the Aghanims, but still feels like he's a while away from coming online. And that Sven just got deleted. Unfortunately, the smoke worked out perfectly for Dire. Seconds away from disaster. If they had still been on the low ground for another 2 or 3 seconds, they may have lost that fight. Now, this is the unfortunate state where the Pudge isn't winning hard, so feels a little bit underwhelming. Look at this. Fire is also pretty poor. Oh, but a hook shot in the pin, too! The Mars Arena! It's really powerful so far. 3 heroes trapped inside of it. The Laguna Blade does come out. Looks like Clockwork may die, but Changxing's here to deal the damage. Radiofoot with a good lift, but now Sven's here. He has the BKB, popped it. They do manage to pop the Aegis. So far, it's a 2-for-1, but that one is the Aegis. Magoo will fall as well, but now Clockwork going to go down. BDC, though, has to be very careful. He's taking a lot of damage. The ultimate is actually stolen from the Rubik. I forgot that hero was on Radiant. Takes a lot of damage. Oh no, Radiofoot unfortunately blinks up to the high ground. That's a 5-for-2. With the buyback on the OD and one of them being an Aegis on Dire. That's a real good fight though. Look at that swing.
I was meant to have this.
Dire, get away with murder in the fight. I totally forgot that Snap was on Radiant too. And I have to realize that damage from Radio was just insane. He's doing very well for himself. Level 18 compared to the 14-15 of the supports. This was a 3 pudge. And he's below the Rubik and net. Feels very rough. Daedalus finished. Oh, Wind gets a good hook onto Blinky. Blinky pulled into the base, but there's not really any follow-up, and now Wind has to be very careful. Hook not stolen, unfortunately, it is Rot, but Blinky still taking quite a bit of damage. The save from Zeusfer is there, but now Wind is probably going to fall here as he's surrounded by dire heroes. Another steal for Rubik. This time he'll get the Astral. He will get, I believe, 2 charges, yes, because of that Aghanims. And now, Dire easily push up to the high ground if they so elect to. Changstein will go back to try and push. Lincoln's there to block it. I would imagine he has a remnant here somewhere, but I don't see it. Look at this BDC. He wants to go. They'll get pushed back, though. Still doesn't even have the Aghanims. 32 minutes. And he's only made a few 100 gold progress. And it feels like the Sven is just rapidly falling off here. Desperately needs to get this Aghanims to give him that mobility in these fights.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Lucifer going for that Dragon Lance, but it's also a ways away. Actually, they're just leaving bottom. Ouchtabibbles does quite a bit of damage.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Now they'll start to return. They do get the deny, but it's not quite enough to really offset the game situation, I don't think. And this game is looking pretty handed for Dire right now. Definitely feels like poor BDC is just falling behind pretty heavily here. Let's go ahead and look at the Dota Plus. Look at that. 96. I wouldn't give it 96 odds. I was thinking like 80, 85. But Dota Plus has spoken. And there is a significant net worth lead, though. That 20,000 net worth lead for Dire. Satanic going to be the next item for Blinky. Doing very well for himself. Mars, too. He could even maybe look to go into a Deso or something and start being a real damage dealer for his team. We'll have to wait and see. No, an Assault Hero. So yes, but no. Man is really going to enable his team. And that's good because Tankstein's physical build, he's going to buy the Deso. Sun's farming. 300 gold away. I feel like... I don't know if he even has buyback. Oh, no, he does. So he may elect to save for it here. No, buys out. But if he dies, that is just going to be the game. Grocery spawn in about 2 minutes, and look at that. What a beautiful blink initiation. Catches the Pudge, catches the Lina. Lina will fall. Pudge, too, taking a lot of damage. Stretchy has just been so on top of his cancels, man. Magoo can't shoot more than 2 goo balls for he's canceled by beautiful hook shots from this Clockwork. As now, Dire will push up onto the high ground. Fortify's not going to do too much for you. And look at that. A big stolen orb from Radiofoot. Not really going to do too much here. The hook will miss. push isn't really being slowed down. What a knockback from Astro Bibbles. They're playing out of their mind right now. As Pudge taking a lot of damage, but they do have to be a little bit careful. Blinky going up onto the high ground. He's taking a lot of damage. Sven is powerful, and you're not invincible, Blinky, as he goes down. Right now, it's a 2-for-1 trade as both Pudge and Lena have fallen. Zeus for no. The physical damage, it's coming out. OD just gets annihilated. Snapfire has to back up to base. It's a 4v3 right now. Fire desperately trying to push them back, but they're not really going to be able to slow down on Mars. He'll just tank this damage. Fire trying to put out the magical damage with that fire from his Dragon Slave. But I don't think it's going to be enough as Radio Foot, he makes another aggressive play. And look at this. They're going to get another screw back. Or are they, as BDC gets a beautiful stun. That's going to turn into a kill. Fire now gets the LSA on the Ember. Ember does have a remnant. He will be able to get out. But I think if you're on the side of Radiant, now you start to push. Or do they? No, they elect just to take the creeps. They don't lose a lane. They don't lose too much. Sven is getting some money. Getting some gold into his pocket. They actually chase down Stretchy Arms here. Do have a ward on this high ground, so it's going to be very difficult to catch him, and indeed they will not. Now BDC has gold in the bank. That's buyback gold. Don't buy out this time. You gotta look at the buybacks. Look at this. It's rough for Radiant. You've gotta be that force. And alternatively, there is maybe not the best way of looking at this. If everyone dies and you're the only one with buyback, it doesn't matter. But this has pushed Sven into second on the network. It's Ember Spirit, though. He does a lot of damage, man. The AC, I do believe... No, the AC is not even completed on the Mars, so he'll do more damage after that. Illusionist Cape is not really the item you want to see this game. For either team, that's a little bit unfortunate. Timeless Relic, though. Now, that's an item you want to see. Now, and a Timeless Relic for Radiant, too. And yes, Rubik is going to take it. I feel like you want to give this to your Huskar, but Rubik's going to take it, and you'd love to see it on that Rubik. It's just duration on duration, damage on damage, stacking with Arcane Supremacy. Just feels so good, as I do imagine we're going to see a smoke. No, not even a smoke from Radiant. Sven, though, he's becoming more powerful. He's not saving for buyback. He's decided just to go. Let's pull up the new... Oh, a Spell Prism. Let's Rubik take that instead. We'll have to wait and see. No, the Spell Prism's... I don't know if it is going to go to Changstein, though. Maybe it goes to Mars. We'll have to wait and see. A Witless Shaco for Radiant. That's actually pretty okay on Pudge, but he's gone for the Timeless Relic. I feel like you want the Timeless Relic on your Lena or your Snapfire. So let's actually go ahead. I don't think we're going to see a kill. Real quick, we'll jump over here just in case. So that's where kills would happen. Yeah, Illusionist Cape is pretty bad for both teams. The Shackle right now on the OD, I guess that's fine. Meanwhile, a Flicker is a good item that neither team has really picked up, or Dire hasn't really picked up on any of their heroes yet. It is very powerful in the stuff, not so much like the hard CC, but it can help get you out of Rot range, it can get you out of the Mortimer's Kisses, it can move you out of the LSA stun range if you react in time. Hold on. Yeah, neutral items aren't the same. It just feels like it for some reason. Stretchy Arms maybe in a bit of trouble as Win. Not going to toss a hook. Going for a Lotus Orb. Definitely a solid pickup this game. But he actually may be in trouble. Changstein zips forward, but misses the chains, unfortunately, and the LSA will actually connect onto him. But no, Snapfire, he's in a lot of trouble. BDC doesn't get the BKB off in time. He's trapped to the wall, but they're not even fighting him. They're fighting the rest of his team. But no, that might have been a mistake, as now BDC, he's here. He's dealing damage. Blinky is very weak. He will drop, I do believe, yes. but it's still a full-on retreat for the side of Radiant. A buyback is coming out from Snapfire. Right now, it's a 2-for-2 trade with the buyback. Rubik blinking out. Changstein going to be a very difficult kill, but they're chasing him down. He doesn't have a Remnant backup, and what a stolen orb from the Rubik, and then he orbs himself to prevent the damage. Sven will go down too. This Rubik's doing a lot of work. Changstein has a lot of damage. Will right-click down the Snapfire. Rubik will fall. They have to be very careful. The flicker doesn't work out for Zucifer, and ultimately that'll be the end of it. And that's a lot of money on the Rubik. And Odie gets a lot of money, but so does Changstein. And Changstein dealing so much damage right now. It's kind of terrifying. And he may even just built into a rapier at this point. Because it doesn't feel like he's in a risk of dying. Man, that was such an interesting decision. They had the ring. Wow, what a bad circle. They had the arena. That's a better circle. They just left Sven down here. They just let him sit there. And no, he'll go for an MKB. I don't know if that's necessarily the damage item you want on specifically Ember into no evasion, but it's still really good damage, let's be real. It's a shame that we're not going to see the traditional double crit double dade rapier, but that's okay. Man, Brock, dude, he feels real tanky. He feels real good. Has a blade, and it's so hard to get kills on. I have to say though, look at this. Radiant have done an excellent job of stemming the bleeding, keeping that 20k net worth lead. As the game goes later, it matters less and less, that net worth lead. Like, you have to have more for it to be an equivalent. But still, high kill decline, as Dota Plus agrees. But puts the odds slightly more in Radiant's favor this time. AD2l now. Say maybe even that's, but I still think it's about 80-20. But Changstein, he's going in on Zucifer. He shows no fear. The hook won't connect. Could have been very dangerous for him, but he does manage to get out just fine. There are 5 Radiant heroes in the area if they elect to go, but I don't think they will, as now Sven's going for a Daedalus of his own. It's a solid pickup. I think you're probably going to go like Daedalus into Satanic. Meanwhile, Huskar. This is kind of the time where Huskar starts to fall off a little bit. Is going for that halberd though, so that is a way to stay relevant by preventing the right clicks from the rest of the enemy team. And now, yeah, the Aghanim's Blessing, definitely solid pickup. Doesn't really have a lot more in terms of items at this stage. Gonna probably go Blessing, Moon Shard, bots too. Illusions. Let's toss a W in that camp's dead. Illusions are slow as the smoke comes out from Radiant. The lead is from Fire. Does have a Force Yules, but unfortunately no dire heroes in the area. EDC has the Daedalus, but no buyback once again. Buybacks looking pretty rough for Radiant. They have to be very careful. They're a lost team fight away from the game. Look at this. Blinky, no fear, is just going into Roche. Fortunately, Fire catches an illusion. All of Radiant is in the area. This is maybe a bit over-aggressive from Dire. They'll realize this, they'll back off, and they'll see Radiant with the smoke. So they know they're strong, but not that strong, as OOOOOOO can very easily win a fight if they play too aggressively. Blinky once again going into the pit. It's just such an aggressive maneuver. It feels like such a risk that you don't have to take right now. The Radiant, they're not thinking about it. It's not that they're not thinking about it. They're not thinking it's going on, and I think Blinky, he's going to get away with this. He'll get the Roshan, he'll get the Aegis. I assume he's probably going to give the cheese over to like the Mars or something here. I'd say Changstein, but the man doesn't have slots. Or maybe he'll just hold on to it for himself. But overall, that's a very good maneuver from Dyer. Just pushes them into a slightly better position. Gotta love the regen deny. And oh no. BDC. You're in dangerous territory. You're all alone. He's starting to move his way back, though. Will get out, I do believe. And Changstein. A lot of damage, though. Actually, they're not careful. They may get caught. Or will Changstein be the one to get caught? Oh no. The LSA is there. The cookie's not, though. The hook comes out. The Laguna Blade. They'll burst him down. Got a bit complacent. Ember. Changstein. I don't blame you. You feel strong, but your Lincolns won't save you. Just like that, Radiant get a good advantage, or a good position to regain some advantage, get some farm, get some map control. You have to be careful of the buyback. Assume it's online. Why I always tell people. You don't know if the enemy has buyback, assume they do. Play from the worst position, and at best, you can only get better results than you anticipate.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
As Zucifer will siege the tower with the help of fire. The first tier 2 for OOOOOOO in this game. Find it doubtful if they're going to go farther, and oh no, they commit the Dismember onto the illusion. They should know by now that he's carrying that illusionist cape. That's the second time that they've been bamboozled by that item.
Dire's structures are fortified.
And that was, I have to assume, a misclick to the side of Dire, which is unfortunate. But I don't think their high ground's going to come under threat unless they lose the Ember again here. Sven's catching up. Sven's becoming a monster. I imagine he's sending himself out. What? Satanic? No. Teleport scrolls. But his next item, I have to imagine, is that Satanic. Look at this from Dire. EDC might look to go in onto Stretchy Arms, but they have to be careful. All of Dire's here, and they don't have vision of the high ground. But what a hook shot! Dire do have vision, and now they're going in onto fire, but the ultimate's been popped by the Sven. He gets lifted up, he gets pushed back, he gets disarmed. He's taking a lot of damage. Meanwhile, the Snapfire will die in the Arena of Blood. BDC is forced to run away. The steal is there. It's a good steal from Radiofoot to give his team some move speed, some chase. Chang's team is looking for it. He will get the shackle onto the Sven. Sven, weak, dies. So does the OD as well. Meanwhile, the Lena is taking a lot of damage here. Up top, though, Pudge is trying to kill the Rubik. Save him! They will. Meanwhile, though, Lena playing quite aggressively here.
Top tower is under attack.
Fire will fall back
Bottom tower is
as the
under
creep
attack.
wave is not in position. Quackabibbles leads the charge up onto the high ground. Pudge buys back. Odie buys back. But oh no, Sven has now also bought back. Look at the damage from Chang's team. Stretchy has to be careful. What a force step to dodge that hook. Moments are playing out of their minds right now. The Dismember does come in onto Blinky. Blinky still has the Aegis. Meanwhile, an excellent hook to disrupt it. And also, the brilliant Mars ultimate. Now, Radiant stuck in the pit. BDC dropping rapidly. Will fall. That is a dieback. The hammer comes out. Manages to pop the Aegis. Radiant playing a little bit careful with a stolen Laguna Blade from Radiofoot. Instantly takes out the Odie. Now Fire running back towards the base. Gets forced out by Magoo. But you have to imagine that this is where Radiant takes the game. 110 seconds without their carry or their mid. Magoo tries to slow them down with the Snapfire ultimate. But look at this. Dire aren't having any of it. The damage from Changstein is scary. The Mortimer's kisses are stolen by Radiofoot. 1 tier 4 down. The second to follow. 80 seconds and a dream. I don't think they're going to be able to stop it. I'm pretty sure this is just GG. And indeed, it will be called. Oh, look at Ouch kabibbles. I always want to say quackabibbles. I may have said it already. But what a game, too. Helmet. just styling with their mechanics. The Rubik, the Clockwork, the spearbacks. Everything was going perfectly. And you know how you say that the game's determined by the team fight? That's definitely the case here. That's what I was saying, and they absolutely delivered on that. The team fight that they played was beautiful. All of the members of their team just making such high-level small plays. The joy to watch. We're going to go on a quick break here as we wait for Game 3. So it'll be just a moment, guys. Don't go anywhere. Once again, I will leave you in the lobby, but I will be right back.